Joan starts cutting. 6 shows ahead, he weighs almost 150 kilos, but how much has he improved? Today I'm going to summarize everything he's been explaining. We're going to look at his current physique and how he looked a year ago. I'm going to make comparisons and I'm going to talk as objectively as possible about how much he's improved and whether he could win this year. Let's discuss competitions. He hasn't confirmed any but has mentioned those he's considering and might enter. This depends on several factors, which we'll now explain. He hasn't confirmed any for sure. In about 12 weeks, 3 months, which is a short time, he would have the ones in the United States, which would be Texas, Tampa, and Atlanta. To compete in them, he would have to lose about 2 kilos per week, and Joan says he thinks that's very difficult. I don't think it's that difficult because last year when he started cutting, he lost weight really fast. I mean, he dropped quickly. Well, he was down. That was his weight. He's capable of losing 30 kilos in 3 months. He says if he can't attend all the competitions in the United States on time, he won't go for just one because the trip is a hassle. Understandable. Have a good day. After this, he went on to talk about the ones in Europe, saying that there are 3 in a row and that one of them qualifies for this year's Mr. Olympia, while the other 2 would be for next year. What's going on? In the one that's for this year, obviously they're going to attend, those who are looking for a last-minute final chance to qualify. These competitions in Europe would be the Austria Pro, one in Italy and one in Germany. And it's much more likely that he'll make it to these. What is clear is that he's going to compete no matter what, and he's going to do it this year. Will he do only 3? Well, we don't know. The best thing would be for him to do more because he'd have more chances to qualify. But he says he doesn't care about qualifying, that it'll happen when it happens. Bullshit. He wants to qualify for the Olympia as soon as possible, which is understandable. In public, he just wants to relieve some pressure. That's fine. Let's talk about the weight and whether it's going to be possible for him to make it. How many kilos is he going to maintain? Because Joan loses a lot of weight. Last year, he got to about 140, and now he weighs 149 after eating and with clothes on, I have to say. Calm down. Fasted, he probably weighs about 147, so what has he gained in a year? About 7 kilos. But of course, how much of that is muscle? I did some research and found a measurement of his pumped arm after a lot of training, which was 57, which could be about 55 cold. That's a big measurement, it's a big arm. But now let's talk about the weight he competed at and what he could realistically compete at this year. I found a video where a scale shows 113.8. He uploaded a comparison where he wrote 115 and claims that in his latest video, he competed at 114 in his first competition. So let's say it's about 114. He competed at that weight, the minimum weight he competed at back in 2025. And here's what scares me, because Joan claims in this last video explaining everything that coming in 2 kilos heavier is already an achievement. And no, it's not an achievement. Doing everything he does. He's training like 3 or 4 times more than any other professional open bodybuilder, doing sets of 150 reps. To failure with tons of drop sets, a training volume and intensity that makes Coleman's training look like Joan's warm-up. Coming in with just 2 more kilos from one year to the next after having done so much would actually be pretty bad. And weighing almost 150 in the off-season, Joan would be saying he's fine with coming in at 116. And I say no. If that were the case, he would be confirming what we've all been saying about his method. He says his body has gained weight without trying, that he hasn't forced it, that he's been eating normally, and that's fine. And no, that's not right either, okay? I don't agree with this either, and I'm going to tell you why. Because there are people who, just because of their nature, simply by living normally and not dieting, tend to gain a lot of weight, to get fat, okay? And getting fat doesn't mean growing more or getting stronger. The biggest problem here is how you're going to lose all that weight if you weigh 149 and you plan to compete at around 116, 120. Let's put it this way. How are you going to lose 30 kilos? What are you going to have to do? Will you have to suffer more with the diet and cardio and catabolize more? Or on the contrary, are you going to have to do a 6-month cut in order to lose weight without losing muscle, which you can't do because you don't have enough time before the competitions? I don't think it's logical or a good idea to go on such an extreme bulk. I don't think it's wise to just say, my body wants to gain weight, so I'll let it happen without control. Well, no, I don't think that's the best way to prepare for a competition later on. Because he himself has admitted in this video that he went a bit overboard and might not make it to the competitions in the United States. After explaining all this, let's talk about the comparison, and after that I'll give my harsh opinion. This posing is from October 10th, 2025, 7 months have passed. You have to keep in mind, as I always say, that the lighting is different. In the current posing, the lighting benefits him more, but also the camera angle is different. The posing on the left is shot from a lower angle, which is more like how he'll actually compete, while the right has a higher camera angle. Therefore, the one on the left favors the legs, and the one on the right favors the torso. Keep that in mind. In the side chest pose, his chest appears much fuller, though it's hard to say how much is muscle. Where I see the biggest improvement, well, it seems to be in the back, right? I see that the back is bigger, wider. Anyway, when he gets more defined, it'll show more, but yes, it is wider. The legs from the back look wider, the calves seem slightly improved, and the already huge shoulders appear even bigger now. I don't think it's balanced, but oh well. In the biceps pose, I haven't seen much improvement. The waist is quite a bit wider, obviously. He weighs 30 kilos more, and the arms, well, they seem a little bigger. I think the chest is a bit fuller. The lats look pretty much the same to me. In the front lat spread, I see his chest is fuller, the shoulders and arms are a bit fuller, the lats look almost the same to me, and the quads are pretty similar. I think it's obvious that he looks bigger. How could he not look bigger if he weighs 35 kilos more than when he competed, and 30 more than in this comparison? Compared to when he competed, his current physique shows a clear difference. As objectively as possible after seeing all this, how much body weight is he going to keep? How much of that gain is muscle? He says he's satisfied with 2 kilos. That would seem too little to me. I think at least, let's be very optimistic, he could keep about 4 or 5 kilos of muscle mass out of those 35 he gained. Is that muscle mass gain really going to amount to actual kilos of muscle? With all the effort and suffering he's gone through, is that gain proportional? Everyone can think what they want. I do believe that he could go out and compete with the same or maybe even better condition than last year, but at around 120 kilograms. Hey, that's an impressive weight, though he says weight doesn't matter in bodybuilding. I'll show you this clip.
Gaining 2 or 3 more kilos would be a total success for me. It was exactly the same. In bodybuilding, weight doesn't matter. What counts is your appearance on stage.
I couldn't disagree more. For this year, 2026, I honestly think it's going to be really hard for him to qualify. In these competitions, he's going to compete in Europe, and who knows if he'll do any more than he's mentioned. They're qualifiers for 2027. There, I do see it as very likely that Joan will make it and qualify for the Olympia, breaking the curse of Spain's open division. I think he can qualify in those European competitions or others he enters later. This has been my analysis, as objective as possible, based on what he has said and everything I have researched. If you enjoyed it, please show support, share your thoughts, and check out the channel. That's it, this is Aries YT Culturismo signing off. See you next time.